Great. Okay.
Yep.
Did you put on your camera?
I did.
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Hi, Jerry.
Afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello.
Waiting for Angela and Jessica. Wait, what just happened? I lost everybody.
Yeah.
You may have to hit the camera icon twice, and you should be able to rejoin.
I'm not sure who did that, but I appreciate the music on a Friday evening.
Yeah, that's good.
So-
That's good, New Orleans. Yeah.
Looks like we lost a couple of folks. Jerry and let's see.
Yeah, if Jerry, if you could still hear us, if you click the video camera icon twice. All right.
Okay. And I think we're waiting for Angela, right? Last person.
I believe so.
Let's see. I'm gonna message her, but I think we should get started in about in a minute. Let me message
Absolutely.
her.
Yeah, we'll give her a few more moments.
But fairly easy to...
Go ahead. This feels like I'm on Hollywood Squares. Who's going to buy the circle? Right?
Yeah. But we were on a previous call, me, Jessica, and Vesner, and we tried to actually, Vaz, I did not want to say anything, but exactly the same thing happened to me. I had to go off 4 different links before I could join.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna fix that. We'll just the invite's already gone out, the new one. So hey Meredith.
Hello.
I don't know if she.
Oh, there I am. Hello.
Hi
I
there.
trouble with the link, as I heard you all saying as I was joining.
Okay. So let's get started, I think.
Okay, good. So maybe we should do intros.
If Angela's going to join us, she'll jump in. But yeah, let's do intros, and then I'll pass it to your team, Omino, or you want me to tee it up? Pass it to your team. Okay.
Tee it up.
All right, I'll do intro. So Wesner Pierre, CEO, Partnership with Children. I'll pass it to Jessica.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now, Jessica.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Jessica Rollins, and I'm Chief Development Officer of Partnership with Children. I'll pass it to Meredith.
Hello, I'm Meredith, Partnership with Children's Vice President of Programs, and I oversee our community schools and our Center for Arts Education programs. And I'll pass to Tal.
I am Tal, and I'm the new, as of last week, Director of the Center for Arts Education at Partnership with Children.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Tal's going to pass it to Jerry.
I'll take that warm handoff. My name is Jerry Hippolyte. I'm Chief of Staff of Partnership with Children, and I'll swing it over back to Wesley.
All right, Omino, your team.
Cool. So I'm Omino. I'm the board member at PWC and Center for Arts Education, and also CEO of Learn, the video learning platform that we're all in. I'm going to pass it over to Scott.
Hey everybody, Scott. I'm our CTO here at Learn and our lead developer. I'll pass it to Elijah.
Hi, I'm Elijah. I'm a project manager working with both operations and product. I'll pass it over to Justin.
I'm Justin Rich. I work at Learn and I'm a Chief Product Officer. Jesper?
Cool.
Okay, great.
So we're all here because we're doing a kind of an interesting event in a few weeks in February with a good friend of mine and Wesner's, Jeppe Hein. And we have had this brilliant opportunity to basically run a session. He's going to run a session, basically a masterclass in his breed with me. And we thought it was actually a really good opportunity for us to kind of do it in the Learn space. And I hear the New York police is still busy.
Yeah, someone can mute because that sound is competing. Not sure who that is, but
Someone in New York. Anyways,
can you mute yourself if it's you, or raise your hand to get help because it's persisting.
Justin,
Nobody.
You guys like I can mute everybody and then we can unmute them as needed.
Yeah, mute everybody and then unmute because it's.
Okay. I think we're good now.
okay, here we go. So the idea is really to do run a master class at. Oh, hi. Joining us.
Hello.
Hello, is this Angela?
Yeah. Hi, Angela. You have to press the mic button. I was just introducing the event, Angela, and what we are doing. Basically, in the Learn space, the idea is that we can have a learning session, a video learning session, and everyone is participating. And then Jeppe can basically present the idea. It's very easy, and you can kind of come in from a browser or your phone. And it allows us to record and be able to sort of see and follow the event and upload images in the space. And it is solely for the purpose of this session, basically. And that is kind of what we do. So we figured that this was a good idea to sort of run through this program in the Learn space. And we thought as a test run, this was actually a good idea between Wesner and Jerry last time, I think, was that we should do a test run with everyone so we can actually test it. And the idea being is that, and I don't know how much you have seen about Jeppe's work, but he's a fairly interactive artist, and he does quite a lot of these breeding sessions. And he's very well known. He's done the Brooklyn Bridge before, and just last summer did a very large installation at Rock in the city. And he does also these breeding sessions, and Wesner kind of picked up on this idea, and we managed to sort of convince him to come in and collaborate with us to run a session for educators, and then we could potentially then extend that so the educators can then educate the kids and kind of do these breeding sessions and have these moments of not only breeding, but sharing, being able to sort of draw together, being able to sort of actually draw lines in terms of what your emotions are. And I think from a pedagogical level, this really lines up very well with what PWC and CAE has done. So we figured this was an ample opportunity to sort of test that. Any questions yet? No.
Yeah. Now the platform.
Sorry, Wesner, I didn't hear you.
Is there a chat functionality in the platform?
I'm going to let Scott answer that.
At the moment, at the moment there's not. So the interface that we're all using and looking at right now, this is sort of a beta interface for our web version of Learn. Previously it was iOS only, but we really wanted to expand our reach and be able to reach a lot more users. So this is basically what we're currently working on, to fix that need. So there are going to be a lot of improvements that we're doing over this next month. One of those improvements is adding a chat functionality, and actually pretty robust chat functionality that includes media features and a lot of useful tools that'll be helpful for students and teachers.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good tee up, Omino. So in terms of the actual fundraising event, where we're focused on our arts-based platform, the CAE side of the ledger, as Omino said, we're bringing in Yepe, but part of the actual event is going to be some pre-work, which will include Omino and his team doing some filming. The goal is to have Yepe come to one of our schools where there is CAE programming happening. And his name is Jeppe Hein, Jeppe. I was going to put it in the chat, but no chat. Jeppehein. So you all can look him up. He has this, amongst other things, an art. I don't know whether it was called an installation or project where it's called Breathe With Me. And so there's some techniques around that and some interaction and engagement. And so when we thought about how would we have a video to put together a video that we would show on the day of the actual event, where we show him visiting our school, engaging with our students. Part of that was, well, how about we get some teaching artists who are interested in art and who might be interested in engaging with a global international artist who's very hot right now and sort of well known in the art space. So just to have that opportunity to interact, to engage, maybe have a Q&A session, but also learn from this artist. And so he's willing and open to do sort of like a train the trainer session. So we have to work out logistics. I'm looking at you, Omino, about getting folks, the teaching artists, the kits that are necessary to do this. So it would be like a train the trainer session where and I'm looking at Omino on this, so we get the kids to wherever the teaching artists, we have to identify who the teaching artists are, what schools we may be interested to have. So it's two separate things. One is going to be a workshop. So it could be any teaching artist who's interested. We have to know who they are and where to send these kits to. So we need addresses and names. I'm looking at Omino on this side. So, and then the other thing is when Yepe is in the States, right now he's based in Europe. When he's in the States, we have to identify a school that he would visit that we think would be best suited to have him engage with the students directly. And obviously this would be a school where there is a teaching artist who would have already taken part in the prior workshop. And we're going to film the workshop, which will be done on this platform. So that's sort of the fullness. There's two things happening. There's an interactive workshop, and this is the platform that Omino has offered up that he thinks would be most effective in terms of allowing Yepe to do his instruction and have interactive engagement with our teaching artists. So that's the one thing. And then the second thing is in the month of April, Yepe will be in the States, and we will have to identify a school. One of which where these teaching artists will have already done the workshop and be familiar with the technique. So if you look up Yeppe Hein, you'll see Breathe With Me there. He's done it at the UN. He's done it globally. So it's quite a big. I guess it's called an installation. I don't have the language for it. So anyway, so we wanted to, because Omino suggested that this is the platform, we wanted to preview it for everyone. So obviously we wanted the CAE team involved and wanted you all to see. So that's the full backdrop. So I'm going to pass it to you all because they're going to give us basically a tutorial of what this would be if we were the teaching artists and Yeppe was facilitating to us. We get to see that real time, what that sort of looks like. And if we have any questions or anything that's coming up for us throughout this process, this is the time to ask.
Yeah, and just to fill in a little bit of the blanks, the idea with the Learn space and kind of why I sort of suggested it was that it's the idea of being able to come in from any device without downloading Zoom or Google or log in or do anything was what was really interesting. And it's only a safe link. So only you have it, only the people that receive it can actually enter, right? And that was very important for this, for the context of what we were trying to do. And, you know, there is a lot of technology behind this where, you know, you don't necessarily know the IP address that is coming from and so on and so forth. But it's, we really wanted to sort of push this idea in terms of safety and the ability to be able to share and do a lot of that in here. Scott, take it over, please.
Yeah. So are there, from my team, are there any questions so far before Scott jumps into the demo?
I have questions. I'm logistical minded brain, and so
okay.
I think I have questions about like the specifics. You know, how many teaching artists are we talking about getting involved in this space for the learning part? I guess I also wonder if maybe a social worker or two would be appropriate, as this is breathing and mindfulness, not just an art.
Good point.
And we might want to show how those two things interact together, which is, you know, the culmination of our merging, right? So I think those are like the two things top of mind, but not necessarily urgent for right now. Yeah. I do already have some teaching artists in mind who are working right now in classrooms. Although, as you all may know, you know, residencies shift. So sometimes there's an 8-week residency that may be over by April. So we may have to do some, you know, figuring out alongside our school partners. If a residency has ended, maybe they would still let us come in and do something special with this amazing artist. And also, I have to say, I did look at Yeppe's website, and the balloons in LaGuardia are amazing. It makes me feel like I would like to go to Terminal 2 and like search around for the balloons.
Yeah, I actually flew into Terminal and saw them, and I didn't realize that was his installation. I was like, oh, these are so cool. Yeah, they are pretty cool, actually. So a great point on the social worker. I hadn't thought of that. That's a great flag there. I think you all can tell us, it's your platform, how many people can this platform comfortably host? And then I think Omino might have a sense of, given that Yeppe has worked with youth in the past and done large sort of workshop style stuff, to give us a sense of what his capacity would be for effectively training or you know, doing a workshop.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the number of people hosted, or even we're talking about, you know, the number of people that will onboard and just have, you know, content on the platform, or are you referring to the number of people that are in like an active session like that we're in?
Yeah, the number of people in an active session, right? Is that what you're asking? But yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I need to plan for people to be in this space learning the technique, I want to know how many of those people.
So there's two numbers that we look at. There's basically, you know, our active people who are on screen, but there's also a larger number of view-only audience members. So And we haven't tested the upper limits, but as far as the number of active people, we should be able to get close to 50. But view only members, we can go really, really high. I'm talking, hundreds, possibly thousands of people that basically view a stream of the broadcast, because we can actually send out that video over a CDN, which is a content delivery network. And basically the scalability of that resource is extremely scalable. Kind of runs on the backbone of AWS. So, we're using the larger providers to gain that scale. But
okay, so
the
in layman's terms, in basic English, how many people could be on the screen?
On the screen, no, we definitely have to test this. I'll say comfortably. Yeah, I know we can get to 20, 25 very comfortably. Theoretically, we can go higher and get up to 50, but there's probably going to be some other limits that we hit. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because the ANVs and the QBRs and all those things, you're losing me a little bit, friend.
Yeah.
I appreciate your
expertise.
I do.
Yeah. But basically, if you think about like the number of people that could kind of sit and just watch, kind of watch it as a show, but not actively participate, that's when we can go and, easily get into, the thousands. But that would be like view only.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think we want our folks to be actively participating, asking questions, being engaged. So you said 20, 25 comfortably?
Yeah. And then there's also, I guess there's an in between ground where people will, so you'll see part of the exercise. We actually have, we can have participants take a picture of, maybe the response to a question by the presenter. And they don't actually have to have their video going, but they can take a picture and submit it into the session to where it can be a piece of either a talking piece or, something that can help others interact without necessarily doing live video. And that can, be that part of that higher number as well.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Justin's actually going to run the Breathe With Me demo. So unless anybody else has any other questions, we can jump to that.
I actually do have another question. I'm full of questions. It's ridiculous, but in this process, people have been jumping around on my screen. And I'm wondering if that's going to happen in this learning session. Because, like, for me, as someone who's somewhat easily distracted, and it seems like people are falling off.
I can go into focus mode.
I don't know.
Yeah, so what I just did here is, I just put myself into focus mode. So we have different layouts that we can activate. And basically, on top of that, this is a pretty early kind of preview of the entire video platform side. So there are going to be some pretty big improvements, especially with the way we'll do the layouts of the screens and everything.
Yeah.
But some of the things you're noticing are just it's still a little early.
Yeah, but one of the things that I sort of really wanted to build for was for non-for-profit and large organizations, where the ability of people should not be hindered based on the different products that different people use, and their ability to be able to sort of participate should be as simple as possible. And that was really why thinking about that. I think the main thing, and then going back to your earlier comment around how many ideally Jeppe could hold a session for, I think many of us, there could be a lot of people. I think the ideal number, at least for me, would be somewhere between 20 to 40. I think is max, because there is at least for this start session, I think that's enough. But you guys kind of have to decide on how many, and we can hold more sessions, right? That's the beauty of what we can do. Another caveat to that is that the pre-recorded content will also exist within the same platform. So you'll be able to see Yepes sessions and then Vesner's session in the same place, and then be able to sort of go between them. So the idea is to kind of create a central hub for content that you need, that is yours, that lives in the cloud.
Okay, so we get this, we own this content after it's done. It's not just a one-off.
Yeah,
It can live somewhere and be accessed by folks.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly. And that's kind of the whole, you'll hear us talk about the different spaces. That's the real concept of the space. It's, it's somewhere where, as an artist works on different projects or different sessions, they can store all that content in, their space. And it's basically an archive of all that content, so they can share that to whoever they want to share it with, and bring in other folks. And, it's kind of a mixture of a few different platforms, but
right. So the archival functionality is a little different from hitting record on Zoom, where you'd have to then send that recording to folks. Now you're saying that there's an archival link that you can just click on and go to and say, this is what we did with our folks.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually been even a little simpler. So right now we don't have this fully implemented, but for example, say once everything was implemented, we'd end this session, and then at the end of the session, you'd just be in the space, and you'd automatically just see all the content that was generated from the session.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay, good. Yeah, Justin, please.
Amazing. So what we're going to be doing is going through Yepes's breathing exercises, and he's prepared, basically a number, of these exercises and exactly how to do them. And so what we're going to do is sort of formulate what we'll be doing in the sessions. I think it'll give you the experience today without the kits, like we were talking about last week. So I'm just going to pull up on the screen here a little keynote presentation. And Elijah, can you put me in? Thanks. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so to get started today, let's start by taking 5 deep breaths. What I want you to focus on while we're doing this is focus on the exhale. And then by clearing the lungs, what you're going to do is really allow your lungs to inhale. And what I'll do is I'll give everyone cues, that way we're breathing together and experiencing this together. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start by breathing in and really breathe out. And then breathe in, back out. And in, out. Last one, in, out. Great. So this is how we get started. And so what we're going to be doing today is this geometric breathing pattern. And so what we're going to be doing is drawing shapes in the air with our hands. And then what we'll be doing in February and April is actually, instead, you'll be painting, sort of one line at a time. So you can imagine, the same sensation between drawing these shapes and then painting on the page. And it's all about, just focusing, breathing, and doing this as a concentrated practice. So as you can see here, we have on the left-hand side all of the different shapes we're going to do. And so the blue lines are the inhale lines. So for instance, I'm going to do the first one. If you draw a circle, you draw it counterclockwise as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, you go back the other way. And that's one complete rotation. Typically, Yepe does this 10 times. I think we can do each, just a couple of times, to get the experience. And then afterward, what we'll do is we'll show you how this works, inside the Learn platform. Okay, so if everyone's ready, follow along with me. We're going to start with the circle. We're going to do this a couple of times. So we're going to start by breathing in, join the circle. And then as you get to the top, you breathe out and come back around. That's one full rotation. We'll do it again. back out. Very good. And then we're going to move on to the triangle. And so on this, as you can see in the diagram, as you go down the one side, you're going to breathe in. We're going to hold for the full rotation and then breathe out. And again, we'll do this twice. So starting on the inhale, then hold, and then breathe out, and then in, hold, and back out. Okay, that's the triangle. And moving on, we're doing the square now. And so on this, we're actually going to do 2 holds. So after you breathe in, we'll hold. And then again, after you breathe out, we'll hold. So I'll try to go a little bit faster this time. And same thing, we'll do this twice. So ready? Get started. Breathe in. And hold. And breathe out. And then hold. And breathe in. And then hold. Breathe out. And then hold. Pretty good. Amazing. And so now what we want to do is we want to return the focus to the present, and we're just going to do a simple counting backwards from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then deeply exhale. Very good. So I hope everyone's enjoying a little bit of relaxation in their day. You heard a little bit of the New York ambulance, and I had some accident, I think, out in front of my building. So what we're going to do now is actually start to share the experience a little bit using the Learn platform. And so to make this a little less chaotic than it could be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Elijah to basically, what he's going to do is he's going to use the same interface we're all looking at. It's essentially an up arrow button, just to give you exactly where it is. He's going to use that. And what we're going to do, and I'll walk you through the experience after he does it. But what I'm going to ask Elijah to do is pretend as if he's made a painting, just like the kids will do and just like the learning artists will do. And what he can do is right now he's scanning a QR code from his phone, and I'll show you exactly how that works. And what he's going to do is he's going to take a picture of his painting as if he made it. And then what we're all doing is we're sharing in my Keynote. And what I'm going to ask Elijah to do is post the picture as soon as he has it ready. And what this will allow us to do is all share in the experience. So you can imagine as all of the kids are in the classroom painting, you can start to ask them, whether in groups or as individuals, might be the learning artists, when he's on with Yepe, to basically share the experience, capture it with the device, and then we can post it back to the session. And then as we were talking about, Western, this is where these memories, essentially, or these highlights from our session will be stored later. So after we jump off of here, we can show you essentially how anyone in the session can retrieve Elijah's photo, or what I'm going to do is ask several of us to post to today's session, whether it's just a picture or something, and then that way we can basically capture what we did today, share it with the session, and then it's available thereafter to everyone in the group. And what we want to do is really use this feature to allow people, maybe on a laptop, to start sharing using a phone, and you might give a personal reflection. So one of the reflections, after Yepe's real exercise might be to ask the kids how breathing, made them feel. Did anything change in terms of, your heart rate or your feeling about, your outlook on the day, things like that. And if you could imagine them responding by either taking a picture of them smiling or the selfie video saying, when I was breathing deeply and drawing the circles, my favorite part was this because I felt, that. And it's essentially trying to capture those memories to the session to save. And so you can see what's being added, what Elijah's adding. Now, everyone, thank you, is different, drawings and paintings from today's experience. And so they're available both live in the session. Oh, please go ahead.
Yeah, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure. So these are available both live during the session. So just like we're doing now, Elijah or a student can say, hey, I found this cool thing, check this out. And you can post it back to the group. if you're tutoring, in Spanish, and say, find me something Amaritio in your room, right? The kid can get up with the phone and capture this and post it back, to the tutor. And that way, it's very dynamic interaction with the photos, the videos, the things that you're actually creating and doing in the space. And it's all very seamless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of this. And I'm just going to show you this interface. What you would do is click here, Wester, inside the window. And I realize this gets a little wonky. Sorry about that. And that's what Elijah was doing to enter this and access that functionality. Is it's basically right there.
Wait, what?
Sorry, it's through if you're looking at the interface, there's an up arrow at the bottom of the bar. If you click that, what Elijah was doing is there's a take a photo.
Use mobile device to capture?
Yes.
Yes, and if you use the mobile device to capture, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so you
so
scan
now-
the QR code, and then, so if I now, so by the way, this is not for students. This is a workshop for our teaching artists. So
That's right.
the teaching artists are doing the things that Yeppe is instructing, and he wants to do a share out. I can go to, I can take a picture of what I just drew, of what I painted, because I have the kit that Omino's going to make sure we get these kits sent to our people. So I have the kit. I did the thing, and now I want to take a picture of it. Using that QR code, I can then upload it. That's how the upload happens.
Yes,
and I can then
exactly.
share, and I can reflect, and Yeppe can ask people to share and reflect.
Exactly.
I see.
So
Okay.
that'll be a piece of this. Is he'll actually have a tool that can prompt everyone to do that, and so that way it's a very seamless experience, to where you don't necessarily even have to click capture from your mobile device. It'll just sort of start that process, and you can guide them through that. But as you can imagine, if you have like one-on-one tutoring or different types of sessions you might be running, it's really about that dynamic sort of interaction. And then all of those images that we've saved today will be available for archive later at the same URL. So once we end today's session, it's going to be there. And so that way you actually have these, first-class photos, memories, and things that people do want to share and are easy. Whereas you may not want, to go through the whole, 30 minutes or hour-long experience again. It really gives you an artifact for.
I was reading this book, Walk into the Magic Shop. I don't know if any of you has read this, but it's you should look it up. I'll send the link. It's on Audible, actually. I cheated and listened to it instead. I'm too busy.
You read the book.
I read the book. I mean, that's officially what I'm going to say, at least.
Yes.
It's called Into the Magic Shop, and it's by James R. Doughty. He's a neurosurgeon, and he came from a fairly rough background, and he literally tested this idea that breathing really saved his life. I'd strongly recommend everyone to at least spend some time reading some sort of insight from it. But it's super interesting, and I really believe that there is something big here. And having been in the partnership with children space in itself, that sort of feeling you get when you're with the kids and the way they're talking, how do you feel today, actually being able to sort of empower them to be able to share their emotions, be able to draw, to use creativity to sort of reflect ideas and emotions, I think is crucial in terms of what we can actually do. And then I think there is a lot of things that we can obviously do with content. This becomes a central content hub for any of these master classes that we may want to do following this with Yeppe. Maybe there is another local artist that we want to bring in. Maybe there is a session that a teacher wants to hold, and they want to hold it for 5 kids specifically, or 1 kid. We just sort of taught that this made sense. And this is also a very inclusive way of being sort of participant in not downloading a bunch of different things and being able to sort of log in immediately and accessing content specifically for one organization instead of going through, advertising and this and that. So that's basically the idea.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I was thinking, like, when they do the painting, how are you going to show, like, you're going to just hold it up to the screen and be like, okay, you know, so this is, I think this is, creates a really interesting opportunity. I'm sorry, Jessica, go ahead.
No worries. I just wanted to jump in with a little bit of inside baseball, but this is making me think that we should get permission to have access to folks' images. I think that'd be a really important step to take for anyone that participates in this, especially if it's going to be sort of banked for us to have access to moving forward. I think we'll definitely need to do consent on that.
Yep, agree. Good point.
Excellent point.
Yep. Okay, well, this piqued interest here. So what's next on the demo?
So it's going to show you a quick version of what it looks like after the session is complete. So usually you would get join using the same link, and you can see here's our scheduled meeting, when the next sessions are, these sort of things. You can customize the spaces with logos. And then as you scroll down, you can see all the things that have been posted so far into the space. So, our different drawings and things like that. So this becomes the archive of where all of your data lives. And we're currently working on the uploading of all the video content files. So everything will be recorded. And that's sort of the next step where we are in the beta for getting that moving forward. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much the archiving bit of it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be fairly light touch. I think Jeppe is. I'm gonna film him next week, and we'll do a couple of intros and welcoming and some of the sessions, so we actually have archival footage. So if there is anything in particular you guys would like him to sort of touch on, or if there is exercises that you're excited about, or you want him to sort of run, those exercises that Justin ran was very short. Jeppe's exercises are generally between 5 to 7 minutes each, and there is generally 5 of them. Depending on how we want, we can obviously make sure that it is shorter or longer or less exercises. We can formulate it a lot. We have a lot of opportunity there. So if you guys have thoughts, I also really like the fact that we have. Vasna, am I right in saying, or Angela, am I right in saying that there is quite a lot of emojis that we created, like how you feel, that actually exists within the partnership with children's visual language that's in the partnership with children's space?
I will defer to Angela. I know when I go to sites, there's a standard one that I see at a number of our sites, but I don't know if we actually created. I would defer to Angela on that.
I'm not sure exactly when you said that there are emojis.
Yeah, I don't really remember, and I don't know if this is relevant to CAE, but the Robin, the former head of programming, I think, and someone else sort of led this initiative that we should have our own sort of PWC emojis. I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel excited, and it was kind of in a clockwork. I don't know if that still exists, but that would be something that we could incorporate.
Yeah.
And bring up.
I mean, those images exist. I don't know that they're exclusive, like PWC created. I think that there were, in counseling rooms in general, there was an effort to have these kind of feelings, identifying images on bulletin boards or walls, but not that there was something that PWC necessarily created specifically, but that it was something that was universally placed in counseling rooms.
Right. Okay. So yeah, when you go to our schools, you will see it at all of our sites, but I don't know that we are the originators of creating the emojis themselves.
Right. Yeah, so we can personalize this quite a lot in terms of the look and feel and so on and so forth. So each room has its particular sort of set of look and feels and backgrounds or whatnot. I don't know if there anything else. Jerry, Lena, anything else? Okay. That's pretty much what we had. So for our next session, I would love to get a group of educators, teachers, art teachers that you want to have in this, so we know who they are, so we can provide them with the material for the event. And then they will get a link to log in, and then they'll be able to do the session with Jeppe.
Yeah, so I guess homework on our side would be identifying
How many?
How many folks, and who are they? And then I think on your side, homework on your side, Omino, would be after we let you know the number, you let us know when Jeppe will be able to do this. I think that's important, the day and time.
Yep.
We also could offer up a good day and time on our end, but I know he has a busy schedule, so it probably will be based on what he can manage.
Yeah.
And that will determine how many people on our end can attend as well. And then from there, we will know who's attending and when it's happening, and we can then figure out getting the kits mailed to locations. And I don't know for us if that's central to our office, or do we get addresses and have them sent to different places. We'll work that out.
Cool. Sounds good. I mean, I think we need to sort of nail down some sort of a date. And I know he's in Australia most of the month, so it is towards end of the month. So if we can focus on the last week of the month of February,
yeah,
would be really great. And then you guys maybe mark out like 1 or 2 days, and it should not take more than an hour of anyone's time. And then we'll sort of have an agenda and then walk through that agenda, basically.
Sounds good. So the week of the 20th, I think we're on break, right? In February.
Well,
so
yeah, school-based folks are on break, yeah.
Yeah, so we come back to the 27th, right? Are those heads nods? Yes, to the 27th. So the week of the 27th, which leads us.
Well,
into
when you say
March.
we, I mean that the school is closed. We are still open, except for the 20th. Some people will be on vacation. So
yeah. So in theory, this could happen even if the school is closed. We could have the kits mailed to their homes. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I thought the last week of February is when we're just having the teaching artists and maybe others participate in this space, right? We're not talking about students.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about just the workshop. So that would be fine, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let's aim for that. I think that makes sense. Unless anyone else has any other questions, thoughts. Any requests?
Chat functionality is my request.
We got that. Chat functionality, obviously, Vesner.
Well, I would say along with that, the ability for the host to control said chat functionality.
True. Yeah. And also, if I take my camera off, I can still talk, right?
Yep, you can still talk. We just can't see you.
Yep. But yeah, so instead of me disappearing, maybe it should be an icon of me, so that way you know that I'm not like gone into the ether, that I'm actually still around.
maybe names. Just
maybe names. Yeah. So
that's coming as well. Yeah. Good stuff.
This was a free feedback session. So this is great. Yeah, but seriously, thank you all for your time. It's a really fascinating platform. I love the ability to share and interact real time like that. I think that's really great. I think it's going to be a wonderful session with Jeppe. So we'll try to get some numbers to you all as soon as possible.
Perfect. We'll follow up day and time. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys. Cheers. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.